Ladies, you could look up. I know you're watching. Show him the real you. Don't be fake. Don't put on airs and pretend to be something you're not. We always try to hide behind a mask.
I kinda like you.
Hey everybody, Stephen Bastian with the Relationship Life once again. Yesterday I talked about the dark side, and we got into a whole discussion about all the pitfalls in dating and how relationships and so forth in dating, that there are dangers. There are unscrupulous people who will take advantage of people and use them and abuse them. But there is a light side. Now, yesterday, I want to touch on one thing yesterday to kind of clarify. Yesterday, I talked about how you go out with a guy if you're a female, and even if you don't sleep with him, he's going to go home and tell all his friends that, you did. Those guys talk, and they like to embellish.
I can't lie!
And they like to look badass. Not every guy does that. Understand, not every guy does that. Unfortunately, there are a few that do that spoil it for the rest of us. I'm a photographer. My other things that I do, I shoot weddings. I also shoot models. Most photographers are decent. They're professionals. They do their job and they're good at it. There are a few that are horrible, unscrupulous, that will try to get a model naked and, convince her that you have to do this in order to make it in this business, and then her naked pictures are all over the internet and her career is ruined before it ever began.
Yes, no!
Same thing with guys. There's a few bad eggs and they ruin it for the rest of us good guys. The problem you have is that unless you live in New York or LA or Miami or some big, huge, giant city like that, most cities we live in are rather small. Word travels fast. And with social media, it travels even faster. When you friend somebody, you can look down and see that that person has 12, 15, 20, 200 friends in common. But let's say you're seeing a guy and he only has one friend in common. Just you. So you think, I'm safe. Who's he going to talk to? He doesn't know any of my friends. That's not the problem. The problem is all of his friends that he's talking to. That even though you went out to dinner and went to the movies and nothing happened, he's going home and telling his friends, I banged her. I got some. She was easy. All I had to do was tell her she was pretty and she was all over me.
You think I'm gorgeous?
What? I don't think you're gorgeous.
His friends are like, rock on, high five, yeah. Then, 6 months later, you meet a guy online, on Facebook, wherever, at the supermarket.
Hey,
Yikes.
do you know anything about wine?
He recognizes you. Oh, that's that girl. That's that girl Paul told me about. And that nice guy who's really charming and sweet and funny is only after one thing, because he thinks you're easy.
No, I can't let you do that.
Unless you got some fuck you money stashed up your whoozy what's it, your shit out of places to look, so just take it.
Now, I know, I'm making it sound all doom and gloom. It's not. If you're careful, if you get to know his people, get to know his friends, get to know him, okay? There are guys like me that are good people. I pride myself on being a good, honest person. I don't screw people over. I don't locker room talk. I don't talk crap behind other people's backs. If you get into a relationship, I'm all about her, and I'm serious, and I don't cheat. Ever. There are guys like me. What do you do, ladies? How do you find the guys like me, the genuine good guys? And it's ironic. I had a friend of mine today, a very dear friend of mine today, tell me that women don't want the nice guy. And we're going to do a whole episode actually titled after my movie, The Nice Guy Syndrome. And we're going to talk about the nice guy. There are guys like me. And she said that Girls don't want the nice guy. He's too easy. There's no challenge. And that's what we're going to get into on the light side. Why does there have to be a challenge? You know, we play so many games with each other. In the old days, before internet, before all this BS, a guy meets a girl and, I like you. I like you too. Let's see where it goes. And it was great. But now, people play head games. There are, like I told you many times before, there's a million relationship coaches and dating coaches that'll especially tell the guys, when she texts you in the morning, don't text her for 4 hours. Wait. Let her sweat. Be busy. Make her think you've got more going on than just her. It doesn't have to be that way, guys. Why can't we meet somebody and just genuinely get to know that person and then genuinely like that person? Why do there have to be games? There don't. There does not have to be games. I know I'm being an idealistic person. I know I'm being very optimistic and idealistic, but this is the light side. So let's talk about the light side. Ideally, the person that you will be with, that you would want to be with, would be the person that you connect with the most. Well, who would that be? Let's see. That would be that guy that you friend-zoned, or that girl that you friend-zoned. Your best friend, person you tell everything to, the person who knows you better than anybody else, who understands you, who's there for you when you cry, and laughs with you when you're happy and makes you laugh. And when you're sad, he says all the right things to be funny and charming, just to make you smile. When you're sad, to make you get your mind off of it. That you could spend hours with talking and never get bored. Now, unfortunately, with that comes a price, because that person is going to probably have feelings for you. He's going to tell you or express those feelings, and it's going to turn you off because it's too easy. It's too convenient. It doesn't have to be that way. It's okay to be honest with your feelings. We're all so afraid to put ourselves out there. We're all so afraid to express ourselves, because what if we're rejected? I'm not afraid. I've never been afraid. You know why? Because you're either going to be with that person or you're not. Somebody will appreciate you for who you are. Somebody will appreciate you for what you want. Now, guys, I'm going to give you a little secret. Ladies, check your Facebook page. I always say that. Check your Facebook page. Check your messages. Look away. Guys, we have a distinct advantage. The magic number 33. Now, what is 33? Well, it's a number between 32 and 34. No, it's that magical number, 33%. Women, when they look at a guy, when they're interested in a guy, 33% looks, 33% personality, and 33% is he responsible and does he have his shit together? Now, not wealthy, but are you going out and do you have a job? Are you doing what you're supposed to do, or are you sitting home playing video games, eating Cheetos, and getting fat? Those are the 33s that they look for. Now, it does balance out in different ways. I mean, the math can be divided up different ways. If a guy is 66% gorgeous and he's got a great personality, she's not going to care about his job. Or if he's 66% awesome and funny, she's not going to worry about his looks as much. But generally speaking, it's 33% looks, 33% personality, and 33% does he have his shit together. Okay, ladies, you can come back. We guys tend to look at women, I'm sorry, but a lot of guys are shallow. Unfortunately, men are very visual. That's why the porn industry is a billion-dollar-a-year industry, multi-billion-dollar-a-year industry. Guys are very visual. We see what we like. Women are more tactile. They feel what they like. So women don't have that 33, 33, 33. They have 80% looks, 10% personality, and 10% is she batshit crazy or not. and I could get into the whole scale of, especially with women, and I'm not bashing women, but there is a scale. I think they did it on a show called How I Met Your Mother. Barney was talking about it, where there's a scale. Okay.
A girl is allowed to be crazy as long as she is equally hot. Thus, if she's this crazy, she has to be this hot. If she's this crazy, she has to be this hot.
The prettier she is, the more crazy she can be. Because we're shallow. I had a girl that I was in love with, and I would have done anything for her. And she was very concerned about her looks. She always wore makeup. She was very concerned about her looks. She was, I've got to always look my best. I've always got to look my best, And she was concerned, when I get older, am I still going to be attractive? And she had a real issue with that. And I kept trying to tell her, sincerely, I wasn't BSing her. It wasn't a line. I would love her if she were old and gray. I would love her if she were 350 pounds. Doesn't matter. When you love somebody, you see them for who they are. And when you get to that point, looks don't matter anymore. So the light side, you meet somebody and you connect. Let's say either it's going to be your best friend that you've been friends with for a long time, and you finally look at that person and go, you know what? This person makes me laugh. He or she's always there for me. I connect with that person. I can tell that person anything. Why not? Let's go on a date. And you go on a date with them and you realize, wow, I wish I'd met this person sooner. I can't tell you how many relationships I've seen, and a few that I've been in, where eventually the words are uttered, I wish I'd done this sooner. I wish I'd met you sooner. That's the most wonderful thing in the world. It's bittersweet. You're upset because you didn't meet the person sooner, and you're happy because you're that happy. Where were you my whole life? You've heard that expression. Where have you been my whole life? 9 times out of 10, that person was waiting for you to get your head out of your ass and realize, hey, I'm right here. I'm the guy that you've been looking for. I'm the girl that you've been looking for. Look at me. What we think is validation, a lot of people think, oh, he's trying too hard. He wants too much validation. It's not validation. Look at me. See me for who I am. Understand me for who I am. I wrote a song. And maybe one day I'll play it for you guys. It's on SoundCloud. It's called Look at Me. My lyrics go, close your eyes and look at me. See me as a blind man sees. Use your hands and your heart. What do they tell you? Am I still in your head? What does your third eye see when you look at me? What I was saying in that song is see me. Look at me.
I'll be seeing you.
I'm right here. I'm everything you've told me time and time again that you want. When you've cried to me and said, I don't have this in my life. I don't have that.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Just saying. Or you meet that new person. Either you're going to hook up with your best friend and you're going to live happily ever after, or you meet a new person. And it's instant chemistry, instant sparks. Oh my God, this person's awesome. Don't play games. Tell them. We should become, and I try to be this way. You've heard the expression, wearing your heart on your sleeve. There's nothing wrong with that. I know it's scary. You're putting yourself out there. You're going to get burned. You've been burned 1,000,000 times. See, that's the problem, is we let our past influence our future and our present.
Obviously, the time continuum has been disrupted, creating this new temporal event sequence resulting in this alternate reality.
English, Doc.
that because we were burned before, we might get burned again, so I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to let that person know how I feel. I'm going to keep them at bay, keep them back. Don't tell them. Play the game. Chase, challenge. No, it doesn't have to be that way. We need to get back to the way it used to be when we were innocent. Remember when you were in school, even as young as grade school? Although grade school, they kind of do play games and pull pigtails, and I hate him, but you really liked him. We're not kids anymore. We don't have to do that. But there was a time, especially maybe I think in high school, and I think it's the only time, ironically, with rare exception, I remember the first time there was this girl named Tracy. She was my first love. I met her when I was 16. Yeah, I was 16. I was working as a skate guard at Sunrise Ice Skating Center in Florida. My friend Pete, if he's watching this, Pete, if you're watching this, you'll remember Tracy. He remembers Tracy. I was all about Tracy, man. Tracy, oh. I was a skate guard and she was skating. And she fell down. And I skated over to her and I picked her up, helped her to the side rail. She thanked me. I smiled at her. I skated off. Saw her skating around a little bit, and I'd skate by her and smile at her. And I just suddenly decided, you know what, I'm just going to say something to her. And I skated right up to her and I said, hey, they're about to put the Zamboni on the ice and clean the ice. You want to go have a soda and a pizza? And she was like, yeah. And we sat and had a soda and a pizza, and we're talking and we're laughing and we're having fun. And I looked at her and I said, you know, I really like you. And she said, I like you too.
Are you having fun?
She was my girlfriend for a year and a half. She was the one I lost my virginity to. And I her. We were honest with each other. No games. No BS. No. She gave me her phone number, and back then we didn't have cell phones, but if we had, I would have called her in the car on the way home. But as soon as I walked in the door at my parents' house, I ran to the phone on the kitchen wall. I picked it up and I dialed her number. Yeah, I know there was no scrolling. God, I'm old. I'm not that old, but you 80s kids will remember this. And she picked up the phone and she was so excited to talk to me. Hi, Steven. I missed you. I missed you too. I think we were saying I love you within like 3 days of meeting. I mean, it was instantaneous. We talked on the phone for hours. There was no texting. She'd call me and we'd be on the phone for 4, 5, 6, 8 hours just talking. I'd get in my Camaro and I'd go see her and spend the day with her and her parents. Her dad made me mow the lawn a lot, and I didn't mind. I remember her father, O.C., would go, hey, buddy, I need my lawn mowed. Yes, sir. I cleaned his garage. I waxed his car, vacuumed out his car. I was his little do-boy because I loved her. And if it meant to get to see her, I would have done anything to see her. I would be late for school because I would rush to her house to pick her up in the morning to take her to school so she didn't have to take the bus, making me late in the process. I had so many tardy slips that year. Why can't we be like that today? Why can't we tell someone, I like you. I really like you. And they look at you and say, I like you too. It does happen. It should be more common than rare. So you get with the person that you like, you're talking to them, and let's say you're starting to like each other, and you're real with each other, there's no games. You go on your first date. Ladies, check your Facebook page. Guys, don't take her out to a fancy dinner. You don't want to try to impress her. She's not going to be impressed by that. She's going to be impressed by you. Be real. Don't be fake. When you go out to dinner on a given night, do you go out to a 5-star restaurant with candlelight and violins? No. You hit Wendy's, Taco Bell, I'm not saying be cheap, but what I'm saying is on the first date. Now, there's plenty of time for that. I am all about wine 'em and dine 'em. I am all about fancy restaurants and ambiance and romance, and no, trust me, I'm going to go into that deep in coming episodes. But for the first date, make it fun. Show them the real you. Because you don't want someone falling in love with something that's not real. Then the love's not real. You feel me? You want to show that person the real you. And ladies, you could look up, I know you're watching. Show him the real you. Don't be fake. Don't put on airs and pretend to be something you're not. We always try to hide behind a mask. Put on a mask, and it's a defense mechanism. If they didn't like the mask, they're not insulting you. Be real. So your first date should be something fun and light. You know, I'm not saying take her to McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with like a TGI Fridays type restaurant or Chili's type restaurant or Applebee's. Something nice, casual. Maybe Red Lobster, maybe like a steakhouse, if you're really into steak, or a pizza joint. Nice family-style Italian restaurant. Just go out and have fun. Have dinner. Talk. And then after dinner, go for a walk. Hold hands. Get to know each other. Don't try to fish for the kiss. Get your agenda offline. Guys, this is a big problem with us. We go into a relationship or a date, we've got an agenda, we've got an objective. We want to get this. Some guys, it's I want to get laid. Some guys, it's I want to be in a relationship. Some guys, it's I want to get that first kiss. We go in with an objective, and then when we don't get the objective, we're disappointed, or we focus so hard on the objective that we lose sight of everything else. Everything else. Get the objective out of your head. Your objective is to get to know her and have fun. That's it. Everything else is a bonus. Everything else is gravy. Keep it light. The light side. Okay? Keep it fun. Be real. And be fun. I like mini golf. Now, would I go on mini golf on a Tuesday by myself? Oh, hell no. That is really pathetic. And kind of creepy if you're a man my age. But when you're on a date, it's okay to act like kids. I don't care if you're 15 or 50. It's okay to act like kids. That's the fun stuff. Get in touch with your inner child. Get back to that time when you had fun. Before you got so bitter and jaded and hurt and scarred. Have fun. Because that's what it's all about. And if you can maintain that realism and that real fun and show them the real you, and guys, don't try to be funny. Don't. If you are naturally funny, I mean, I've been told I'm pretty funny. I make my best friends laugh all the time. I'm always cracking jokes. I've got a very warped, twisted sense of humor. Matter of fact, my best friend, when I met her, the first thing I said to her, like within the first 5 minutes of talking to her, I actually said, look, I want to apologize in advance. I have a very twisted, demented sense of humor, and if I offend you at any time, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to, but that's just who I am. I was real with her. You know why she's my best friend in the whole world? Because she said to me, I'm the same way. You can't offend me. Now, people do change, unfortunately, and that person that you met that was fun and carefree may not be fun and carefree anymore. And then you got to reassess your relationship and decide, do I want to continue or do I want to walk away? Or you could try to get the fun back and hope that person remembers what it was like when you were fun. I do. I put the FU in fun. I say that all the time. I know it's a lame dad joke, but it's It's still, I like it. I put the FU in fun. But my point is keep it light, keep it fun. And then when things start getting more serious and you've told each other, I really like you, I want to see where this goes, then you pull out all the stops. Then you start thinking about the fancy dinners and the, stuff like that. Now, don't be fake. If you're not into theater, don't take her to the theater or the ballet. Now, if she is, guys, suck it up. Suck it up, because it ain't about you. It's about her. And if she cares about you, it ain't about her. It's about you. I told you in an earlier episode, in a relationship, I'm number one. I'm number one. I want to be happy. It's all that matters to me in life is my happiness. What makes number one happy? Making number two happy. Number two's happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm thrilled. And if she has that same goal in mind, that I want to make you happy too, then you're unselfish, untethered, unrestrained, and it'll be unbelievable. So trust your heart. Don't restrain yourself with what society says should or shouldn't be. Those are rules set forth by man, and they don't apply to you. Now, I'm not saying do illegal things, but you can get away with a lot. I mean, you don't have to abide by every rule in life. Rules are made to be broken, if not stretched a little. So have fun, and you may just experience the light side of the relationship. As I told you yesterday, I have a novel on Amazon, book 1 and book 2 of The Third Horse. Go to Amazon, look for it, type in The Third Horse, Stephen Bastian in the search. There's book 1 and book 2. It's a romance novel. It's not really 50 Shades of Grey romance, but it does get a little heavy and does get a little graphic. So it's not for children. It's not for the easily offended, but it is a sweet story, and I think you guys will like it. It's about want and need and hunger. Matter of fact, book 1 is called The Hunger. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow.